Hello, everyone. Welcome. And I want to start by welcoming our current members and also those who are new here or considering to join us, join our community, our space. For those of who don't know me, I'm Rifkin, strategic tax planner. Okay, and so what we do here, what is the space here, is we help business owners gain clarity around their numbers, stop overpaying in taxes, increase cash flow, and build real wealth, not just income. And we host this Q&A. This space is important because most business owners are working hard, making money, but still feel stuck, not because they're doing something wrong or not because they're not working enough. It's just because no one ever taught them how to make money, how to save on taxes, or structure that actually works for them to understand the money, to have the clarity and how money works. So here we do not guess. We do not react on tax time. We just plan and structure. And this space is designed for you to ask any type of questions about making money, saving money, investing, anything that has to do with money, anything that has to do with business investments. And excited to see all of you here. Thank you. Thank you for being with us. So I guess we can start with the wins. If anyone wants to share the wins for this week. And then before I'm going to let you share, I had lots of wins this week, but I just want to let you know what's been happening this past week. So maybe you can even start asking me these great questions. So I actually, this past week, I committed myself to getting all this knowledge and preparing the team and myself for next year. So I went to the Business Growth Mastermind, Wealth Mastermind, as well as the Real Estate Summit. So basically, I'm equipping myself with all this knowledge in terms of how to grow and scale the business, all the aspects of the business, as well as with the wealth, money, investments, how money works, tax strategies, stocks even. By the way, if anyone wants to learn, I do have some stock recommendation. I'm not a stock broker. I can share with you whatever was shared with me in this mastermind. And real estate. So that's it. So I just wanted to share this with you. So then this way, if you have any questions about that, if you need any clarity, any suggestions, or and also at the same time as we're going to be sharing and speaking, put it in the chat for those of you who already have a plan for next year. But here's the thing, not the budget, not talking about the budget. I'm actually talking about financial plan for next year, for 2026. So I'm just curious who had put a plan together or who is planning to put a plan together, or if anyone ever did a plan together. And I'm just curious, and then I'll talk more about that. All right. So who would like to share any wins for this week? And whatever questions, guys, put it in the chat. This is space designed for you. So for us, me, my team, to answer any of the questions and bring clarity to you and your business. Any wins anyone would like to share?
I can start.
Yes, Vlad. Yes. Please do so.
For those who don't know, I work with Ella and helping clients to get onboarded, pretty much sales team. I get more people involved in participate with us. But I'm also a client myself. I purchased the audit myself. And it's, I'm relatively young, 24 years old. My wife is 20. We recently started our journey a year ago, but obviously, we've never been taught by anyone how to plan financially, how to build any, we've been just living by how we think it's right, how my parents done, I think was right. She was doing how her parents been doing. And that's what we were being our base for foundation for finances. And that was all our literacy about financials. But since I purchased the audit, Ksenia, I think she's not here, but she went with me through our goals for 1 year, 3 year, 5 years, financial, professional, everything that we could discuss. And now I finally start seeing where we at, where we could improve. And yeah, I think that's my biggest win. And sorry, I'm taking too much time, but also to add it to it, it was pretty much our first time when me and my wife had the discussion about it too. because like we sat down for 25 minutes and we were like talking and discussing. So I realized how it is important to have someone like this group right here that will be keeping you accountable even in your personal finances and goals and motivations, and that helps create unity in your family about those topics as well. So yeah, that's my win of the last week and last 2 weeks, I would say.
Okay, I love that. Wow, this is amazing. Thank you so much, Vlad, for sharing. Uh, Vlad is an amazing addition to our company, to our team, and then he took to the next level. So it's not only that he joined us to help us help our clients, but then at the same time, he's helping himself, his family, and that's one of our mission. Is I love this saying, and I cannot take credit for that. That's not what. This is something that I actually learned from others. Is that in order to help others, first you gotta help yourself. And this is a true example, Vlad. What you're doing is you're helping yourself first. It starts with yourself. You want to change the world, start with yourself, getting your finances in order, understanding that, and then whatever you're doing is being an example for others as well. So this is amazing, and thank you for doing this. Thank you for trusting us and helping us to spread the mission as well. Okay, yes, Andrew.
I am all in on expanding my business. I'm kind of doing the hope and pray kind of financial planning right now. So I need to sit down and actually look at the numbers because I'm investing money in marketing that I don't quite have right now. But it's already shaping up. It's setting the stage for the next area of growth. I just don't know when it's gonna turn around with revenue. So just wanted to share that. And any on the way, I totally appreciate you.
Well, I love that. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing, and congratulations on attending the Date of Destiny. For me personally, I did this one in 2019. That was literally in December before the COVID started, and this whole thing was life-changing for me. So I know how you feel. Congratulations. And then as far as growing and investing in your business, you are definitely on the right path. And yes, you did mention this spotted right on, because it's an investment. So the first thing is to understand that it's an investment. And then when you invest something, when you invest your time, your money, your knowledge, all the resources, it's as an investment, you don't get the returns right away. And I think this is one of the things that us as the business owners, even as individuals, it's something that stops us from moving forward, because like we all this want constant gratification, we want like immediate results. But the important thing is to remember the concept that it's an investment. Investment, that's something that you invest for the future benefits and results. Just keep doing that. The only way you can fail if you're just gonna give up. So you are definitely on the right path. I love how you mentioned that it's an investment. And then since you did mention that, so you spoke about marketing, I actually, if no one minds, I'll share this quickly, and then Lena will go to the questions. So that's one thing that I think it's going to be super helpful for every single one of you here, whoever already has a business or starting a business or thinking. So that's something that we were doing at this mastermind. I'm going to share with you my screen. This is a wheel. This is how everything starts. And I'll walk you through here. I'm going to share my screen. You tell me if you see that. So this is something that Grant Cardone, since I'm part of Grant Cardone, this whole ecosystem. So the way that they train us is based on this wheel. So basically, if you look at this wheel, it has these 7 steps. So the first and most important is the idea and the target. And as I mentioned, it doesn't matter if you already have the business, if you're starting a business, if you're thinking of the business, or even like in your career. So it doesn't really matter where you. It all starts with the idea, with the target. So that's the number 1 step. And the thing is that like you cannot skip the steps, because if you're going to skip the steps, this is where you're not going to see the growth and the results that you should be producing. So that's why it's important to understand all the steps. And then also like for myself, and I'll talk more about like the next steps. So me already being in the business for 27 years, so we're actually doing this exercise, and I do this exercise every quarter, every year. I realize right now that I need to go back to the step one. It doesn't mean that we always like, like we always, once we move from step 1 to step 7, that's it. Like we're never going to get back to step 1. So it's a wheel. So that's why, that's why it is a wheel, because we're going, we're going up and then we're going back down. But for those of you, by the way, who sees the stock market, right? When you see the graph of the stock market, it doesn't just go straight like that. It goes up and down, and that's how you scale. So the same thing happens with the business. So it's okay to take steps back as long as you realize, okay, you improve on them, and then you move again. So now the first one is the idea, is the target, and the second step is the attention. And this is, by the way, what you were talking about, Andrew, right now, and this is what all the business owners needs to be doing. The second step is the attention. This is where the marketing comes into the play, okay? Let's say, like in your case, Andrew, right? So like you have the music school. So the next step, you have that idea. You have the idea, you have the music school for the kids where you teach and train them. At the same time, you want to do online classes. At the same time, you have the book. You have like all these different programs. So this is where the attention comes into the place. Attention is that knowing the world, knowing the people, the community, letting them know what you're doing. If you're not letting them know, no one knows what you're doing and no one understands this. So this is where like this attention comes into the place. So today it's very easy in today's days. So because we have computers, we have iPhones, we have like all this social media, so many resources. But now, take yourself back. If any of you read the book, Start With Why, Simon Sinek, and he talks about it, if you take yourself back to Martin Luther King, back then there was no TV, there was no iPhones, there was no social media, no YouTubes, nothing. But then yet, when he made this speech that we all remember, right? Everyone knows, it's been how many years already? How did he gather all these people to come to hear his speech? And he was not the only one. If you go all these years back, right? Even if you go back like to religious and all these places. So what the people used to do, they used to actually go to the places, gather the communities together and talk and share what? Share the idea. Okay, so but today we have the social media, so you just record a video, post it on whatever social media platforms that you use, email, text messages, so that's how you get this attention and spread your idea. And then the next, if you go towards the wheel, this is when you start getting the leads. So now you're getting people's attention. They get interested in you, and that becomes your lead. And then the next step is the lead management. Okay, now you have the person who got interested. So you got this lead, but you gotta manage that, because it doesn't mean that person is gonna sign up right away. Okay, so now you have to have the system, the CRM system, how to keep track of all the leads. I mean, if it's one person, 2, 3, 10, it's all very easy. But now it doesn't happen that you sign up all the way. And by the way, based on the statistics, from the first try, you only sign up 1 to 2%. So what happens to all the 98%? All the 98%, you gotta keep them in this lead management system. You gotta keep track of them, to keep following with them. And by the way, that's exactly, what I'm doing, guys, with you. I did with all of you here, and those of you that just joined us for the first time, this Q&A as a trial. This is our way of following up with you and to keeping you in our lead management system. So you see, like we got your attention. It's whether through me or through Vlad or someone else, and then we put you in our system as a lead, and now we're managing this. Like, we're giving you all this extra value so you don't forget about us. So here's another thing to understand and remember, like especially today. Who knows how much information we consume in one day comparing to what was consumed in the 15th century? Anyone knows? So today we consume, in just one day, we consume what they were used to consume in 15th century in like 1 year. So now imagine how hard it is to grab someone's attention. Because all of you right now, the moment that we're going to end this Q&A, that's it. Like, you're going to go on with your life. Like, you're just going to forget about me and everyone else. You even forget about your kids, your spouses, your friends, because like there's so much going on today. All right? So the next thing in the cycle is the sales. Is now, okay, you have all this, you grab the attention, you have the leads, you manage them. Now you got to sell them. Because here's the thing, if you don't sell, if they don't buy, then your idea, it's nothing is going to happen to that idea. So, and then the sales management. So that's another thing. Once you sold the client, now you got to take care of that client. That's another thing. This is exactly what I'm doing for those of you that are my clients here. You see, I'm taking care of you on a weekly basis by, again, bringing that attention back to you. Because otherwise, if I'm going to sell, I'm going to disappear. My team is going to disappear. You're going to forget about us, or tomorrow you're going to meet someone else and they're going to sell you the same product that I'm selling you. You see like how this is all correlates. And then the next step is the final step. That's if you want to scale and grow your business. So this is why take a snapshot of this of that wheel. Like I said, it doesn't matter, by the way, even in your personal life, it's the same thing. In your personal life, it's forget about even like looking for a job or like some kind of idea. Even I tell this to Vlad, like when you start, and he can say this, like when you start dating, right? And you start, right? You get grabbing the attention of that person, and then you got that lead, and now you gotta manage it. You gotta nurture this, and then you gotta sell at some point. Like Vlad is married right now, but that was a sale, and the next step is to nurture this relationship, and then to grow that relationship. So in a way, we constantly sell. It's whether in business, at work, or personal life, we constantly go in this circle.